welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Fresno Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is Fresno Megan Hoffmeyer and Fresno John Levingood.
Oh, I was gonna be jealous if you didn't include me in a Fresno.
Yeah, you got. I was thinking about maybe calling it Jersey John and Miami Mo, but I just stuck with Fresno because I didn't want people, it felt good. We all want to be Fresno Bob.
Oh no, I want to be Jersey John.
You want to? Okay. All right. Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Milwaukee Mark, and joining me is Jersey John and Miami Mo.
So, yo, hey, how's
What's
it going?
up?
I just came out here from the Hudson River. I was bottling with my empty Schlitz. I was filling it with water from the Hudson. I'm just going to put a cap on this. Boom. Jersey River water. Going to make $1 million. That's $1 million idea.
River water lager. I can't say that
That's
quick.
right.
Wibba water?
River. Say it,
Jersey
John.
River water.
River. Oh my goodness gracious! So we did a episode the other day. It hasn't come out yet, but I did one with Norbert where I tried to recreate the sounds of the creature from Leviathan. No, we've released it. So if you go to Final Fights and you listen to me trying to recreate the sounds of the Leviathan, I lost it. It's like me trying to say river water lager. John, can you do it in the voice?
10 times fast.
River water. Right now I can't.
Lager.
Definitely.
See, it's tough, right?
River water lager. No,
There it is.
But then I start to lose the water. When I do that, I can't do it.
On Movies, Films, and Flicks Facebook, I asked for some questions for this very special episode. It's our 275th episode. Every 25th episode, except for some special occasions, we talk about a Kurt Russell film. And I reached out for questions, and Norbert Morvan asked, if you say the name Lee Van Cleef 5 times into a mirror, does he appear and grant you 3 mustaches?
I think that a mustache appears and kills you.
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
It goes, so this is what happens. If you say Lee Van Cleef 5 times in a mirror, you grow a mustache. But then that mustache becomes Kurt Russell's mustache from The Hateful Eight, and it just kills you. I was going to get really dark and brutal about what it does to you.
It doesn't inject little nanobites into your blood and then blow you up?
Yeah, it goes into, the mustache grows into your body, goes up in your nose, and then chokes your brain.
Like in the movie Splinter.
Yes, exactly.
Like twisted infects you like in the ruins too, and those plants grow into you.
And it waits until you're in a gas station to do this.
Yeah.
It's from a creature feature called Splinter. It's Shea Wiggum. Shea Wiggum headlines a creature feature, Megan. How happy are you? Shay's the best. We love some Shea. He's butter.
We should do Splinter one day if Meg was up for that.
I would love to do some Splinter. That movie's great.
I love Splinter.
That's an underrated creature feature.
It's fantastic.
Underrated creature feature?
Underrated creature feature. Stop. Is he trying tongue twisters?
But you alliterated that very well.
Underrated creature feature. Oh, hey, I got one. All right. Thank you guys for joining us. I finally got one right. So I have so many notes about Escape from New York. I mean, we have been watching this movie for years. I mean, I was telling Megan's parents, we were up at their house this past weekend, and we watched both Escape from New York and L.A., and I told them about how when I was 14, I bought tickets for a movie, snuck in L.A. I love Snake Plissken. John here's got me Escape from New York. Action figures from Australia.
Yep.
So I got that.
They're old school Funko.
Old school Funko, like really cool stuff. I'm just a big Snake Plissken guy. Always have, always will. And this podcast, I mean, also John and I are currently wearing sleeveless shirts. And if you listen to the first episode of Movies, Films, and Flicks, we are wearing, well, it's all about Kurt Russell's sleeveless shirts, John.
And you can't
His
see
greatest sleeveless shirts.
Yeah.
But I have an eye patch on.
Yeah, and Megan's wearing an eye patch. And we're all set for this.
I rubbed my eye pretty hard this morning. It was kind of dry a little bit this morning. So it's like, that's close. I almost need an eye patch.
You got some red eye. It looks great. Now, John, I'm really disappointed. In our episode 250 or 225, we covered Captain Ron. And in that episode, I did some research for this, and I learned that Captain Ron pops up in a comic book that takes place after Escape from New York, where Snake Plissken gets a military Humvee. This is, Johnny Numb, I'll get to your question a little bit here. I know you're listening. He gets into a military Humvee after he rescues the president. He goes to Atlantic City, and his plan is to steal the car that JFK was assassinated in. It goes wrong. Some guy puts him in a crab trap and tries to drown him. And a guy named Captain Ron Hill saves Snake.
What do you look like?
I haven't read the comic yet, but this is John Carpenter's bringing this to us.
No way. I didn't know that. I never heard of that.
And so I wish, now I know that Captain Ron and Snake are kind of tied together.
In the same
Well,
universe.
first off,
Yeah.
anyone listening since the beginning knows that we basically always knew that. We were always true believers of the Snake Plissken timeline that spans very many Kurt Russell movies.
The first 100 episodes, John, I made a reference to Kurt Russell in the beginning of every single episode.
Oh yeah. There were times that you forgot, and then something would organically come up later.
KR came up in every episode.
The Cinematic Pliskin Universe, the CPU.
Oh, that'd be great. The CPU. All right, now this ties into a question from Johnny Num, and he asks, more a choose-your-own adventure. After the president hits play and the big band music blends into that Carpenter Howarth synth score as Pliskin unspools the actual tape and walks out of frame, and the screen goes black, what happens next? Can be minutes, days, weeks, etc. after. So we know about Captain Ron, but let's try to come up with our own spin. What does Snake do after he unspools this tape and walks away? So what do you guys think, as opposed to Captain Ron? I think he's got to get his leg treated. There's some funky stuff in there.
Yeah.
I think that he immediately signed up to be a trucker.
Yeah. Breakdown?
And as the world was slowly collapsing after the chain of events of failing that like international summit thing that President Loomis was hosting, right? Like then it took years and years, and then the world degenerated more and more and more, and then eventually they had their second prison region of L.A. and he had to come back out of retirement. And I guess after fighting 5,000-year-old Chinese sorcerers, he was like, you know what? Escape from prison lands isn't so bad.
Oh, wow. So he becomes a truck driver, beats Lopan, and then has to... Oh, my gosh.
Well, I mean, first he was sick of the world, right?
Yeah.
He actually spent some time off the grid in Antarctica.
Yeah, he did. Pouring whiskey into computers.
But that job, he didn't even keep that long enough for his pension to get vested. So, he immediately had to do something that would put money on the table, and he became that trucker.
See, I told you, the Cinematic Pliskin Universe, it's real.
We need a timeline. We need a grid.
Think about it. Who takes a job at the Antarctic research post? Someone who's so sick of the world, like after getting out, no thanks whatsoever, risking your life to save the president. And then the president isn't really that grateful, if we're being honest, right?
No.
You're just like, you know what? Screw this. I'm just going to hang out with a bunch of guys and get pissed off at Chess Wizard and drink a lot of J&B.
That sounds pretty fun.
Right? And then when that didn't pan out, trucker made sense. You're on the road. You see people only when you want to, right? But then the world fell apart, and they needed Snake again. So he threw that eye patch back on. That eye patch is basically like his alter ego.
Do you think he became either a firefighter or a construction worker after this? Did he travel to foreign countries to a gelatinous circle that sent him to a desert planet? What else do you think he got into, Megan?
Oh, shoot. I think the eye patch might actually be Tony Stark's. There's some tech in there, and it gives him vision of the world around him.
Whoa.
X-ray. There's video feedback in there.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Go for it. He might have commissioned, a black ops job for the military, where he went and saved our world from some other world, and then though just to make some financial ends meet, almost like going to a sperm bank or something, he basically donated his DNA for a clone so that someone could use him in the future.
Wow.
For powerful soldiers.
I see it.
That way he could take it easy again afterwards.
Well, we know that one of his grandfather was a firefighter, and we know that maybe his great-grandfather was a bounty hunter, so he wanted to pursue that kind of life to make up for that.
It's an exciting life. I can't blame him.
Do you think he hunted down his evil twin brother stuntman?
Oh gosh, that's right on line. See, for all I know, that gets a little fuzzy. That really might be a jaded future Snake.
Oh man.
He's been through so much at this point. He's been through so much at this point. Oh my God, wait. Do you mean, Megan, Mark, wait for it, like the Manitow?
Yes.
And it's like a later iteration of the Manitow, and it's so powerful. It's just power hungry.
Yep.
Like a Native American shaman monster.
Just a super powerful spirit.
Do you think he tried to put shoes on computers?
I don't know why you wouldn't do that. He probably did that in his youth, though, when he was precocious.
We were thinking about this. Do you think, at the end of Fast Five, Dom gives Vince's wife and son probably like $8 million, $10 million. Do you think Snake went to Fresno Bob's wife's house and gave her the broken tape?
He's not a good guy. We know that.
Yeah, that's why he gave her the broken tape. Try to make it work. It might be worth something. What do you think? No? You don't think he went to Fresno Bob to make it right?
I think that's too much work. I don't see Snake taking that effort.
Yeah.
I think, all right, so once John and I used to work Comic-Cons, and one time John was given, John and I were talking about what to do next, and we kind of figured out what to do next, and John just goes, oh.
Mark, I believe that you had assigned me to do something that I was not in the mood to do, so I turned into a 14-year-old who was given extra homework.
Do you think Snake? Do you think Snake did that after when realizing how much walking he'd have to do to go help out Fresno Bob's family?
He'd be like, "I'm too tired. Maybe later."
Yeah, yeah. You gonna kill me now? Nah,
I'm tired.
You know what I love about I listened, so I bought this or I got the Shout Factory Blu-ray for my birthday or Christmas. Megan got it for me, and I listened to all 3 commentaries, did all the research you could do on this, and I found out something pretty cool. When they were shooting this movie, John Carpenter and some of the producers, Deborah Hill, they sent a location scout across the country to find the worst city in the country, and that's what they said. And I'm not saying St. Louis was the worst city in the country, but they shot there because of the big fires in downtown St. Louis. So he traveled all around the country because they didn't have much money. Like Roger Corman, John would find a place that was going to be blown up, and he was like, "Can I film it and get that production value?" So they went all around the country looking for places that looked like a big city, but they could film for cheap. And the fire in St. Louis really helped. And so they shot all nights, which I thought was really cool. The production designer, I got his name up here. The production designer, Joe Alvis, he snuck in all of his crew at night. And I mean, so Joe, he'd worked on Jaws, Close Encounters, Drop Zone, all this stuff. They snuck in all that crap that you see on the streets, John. And they had from 6 p.m. to 7 a.m. every morning. And then about 3 or 4, his crew would come back in to throw all the crap back on the street to do it.
So they clean that between daytimes.
Like a bulldozer, a big truck, like a snowplow would come through and push it all off the streets so cars could get through.
Clean seems like a very loose description. More like moved.
Yeah, so cars could get through. And so they filmed, and then that plane, they bought that plane, cut it up, brought it into St. Louis without permits, and shot that scene. And the next day there were reports, there's a plane crash in downtown St. Louis. Eyewitnesses have this to say. But yeah, so this movie, I mean, it only cost $6 million at the time, which right now is about $17 million, which really isn't that much. So they were very creative as how they had to shoot this thing. And I don't see much of the budget being stretched. What do you think, Megan and John? Do you think they used the budget really well on this?
Hey, another cool story about one of the buildings in the background. So it was the Swift Printing Company at the time. It was one of the burned out, ruined exteriors. The fires nearly ruined it, which is now home to the Schlafly Tap Room.
Oh.
And a few years ago, Schlafly did a collaboration with Right Proper, and they had a Pliskin Saison.
John, did we go there when we worked together in St. Louis? Did you work with me in St.Unk
We did that. Actually, we did St. Louis twice in a really short period of time for some reason.
I almost got killed by a ice thing. A hunk of ice fell off a skyscraper and landed like 4 feet from my head.
I was not there for that.
It scared me. Now whenever I walk by buildings, I'm terrified. Did we go to Schlafly? We went to a pizza place. Did we go to Schlafly?
That doesn't ring a bell, man.
Well, if you walked by it, you would have been tracing Pliskin's footsteps.
Oh my gosh.
Because he ran by the building.
That's so cool. I love this movie. And I don't know. They stretched the budget. It looks great. I mean, everything looks reliably grungy. And I don't know, John, do you think they stretched the budget pretty well on this? Did you see any did you notice anything kind of weird about the flick, or do you think it looks great?
I don't have as good an eye for those things as you do, but I just remember thinking this is a lot of different filming locations that have been, made dilapidated or graffitied up and with debris all over it. I felt like that was what caught my eye, is how many different locations or sets, but I'm assuming it's locations in this case, were dressed up.
Well, so I have a pretty interesting question. I have an answer for that, John. So the fighting ring at the end where Snake fights Ox in the ring.
That's a set.
Yeah.
Right.
So that was a building. It was just a husk of a building. And Joe Alves was like, yeah, I didn't have to do much. He's like, it was already crappy looking, so we just put a ring in there. He's like, it was the best build I've ever had in my life. They just added a lot of smoke. They said it was bad because they had to add all the smoke to kind of add look and atmosphere to it. But yeah, so a lot of the times, a lot of the streets and a lot of the places they shot in were just broken down already. There were a few sets that they built, but for the most part, everything was just so burnt or kind of tore up, they just had to throw a bunch of crap on the ground from dump trucks.
The train yard. That looks really good.
The train yard was cool. I think there's a parked train there. Do you call it park train? Do trains park? John, you're the train expert.
They come to a stop.
I'm the train expert?
John, you've watched Under Siege 2 7 times, so I think you're the train expert here.
That actually might not be wrong. But it was all within a couple years of it coming out.
Got it. It looks. The sets look great. I mean, they couldn't afford to shoot in New York. They did 2 days in New York total, and then the rest of New York was the miniatures that they built. The Skotak brothers and James Cameron helped. He'd painted some stuff, John. So the matte paintings in this, James Cameron did a couple.
Like with the helicopter going around with the bridge, searching towards the beginning, right? Things like that.
And I figured out how they did water and their miniatures that they had, and they had a lot of freedom to shoot all the miniatures and all the planes, and they didn't have enough money for a lot of stuff. Megan said, would you find that research about the tape?
Oh, yeah, the computer graphics when Snake is flying the drone or the plane or the glider, whatever it was, he is zooming in on where to land, and it looks like outlines of a building in a computer program, but I read that they didn't have enough money to use a computer program, so they just created a model, and they put white tape on it, and then filmed as if they filmed over the top of it.
Oh, that's great. They were so creative on this movie, John. It makes me so happy.
So the only scene in New York was what? The part
Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, from the Liberty Island.
Mm-hmm. That was it.
Which is now their command center for controlling their prison Manhattan.
Oh, I love it. I love the idea. I love all the George Romero references, the crazies, and then even Romero. Would you guys hire Romero as your right-hand man?
As my right-hand man? I want to hire him to be in charge.
So, yeah, you would hire I love Romero. Would you hire Romero to be your bodyguard?
I'd be too afraid he might kill me. Just because he has a break.
He's so soft-spoken, though.
Yeah. I like his hair. He's very theatrical, and I dig it. And I don't like when he gets stabbed, but so when he gets stabbed, John Carpenter, after his death, he goes, and Carpenter's like, he made some choices on that one.
Yeah, I saw a real short interview where he was just saying he internalized the character, and all of that came naturally, and they just let him do it.
I mean, Romero's great. He's very theatrical, and and Oscar Hayes. Kurt Russell was saying that him and Oscar used to work out in the morning. Oh, Isaac Hayes. Why did I say Oscar? Isaac Hayes. Oscar Isaac?
Well,
I mix them up. So yeah, Isaac Hayes, they would work out in the morning. I don't know. This is one of those movies that I think it's aged really well because of all the practical effects. I mean, John, how many times have you watched this, and do you feel it aging at all?
So, it's funny. I thought that I'd seen it a lot more than I had. I saw this loads of times in the late 80s and then Columbia House Video era.
Oh yeah.
That my uncle got it, and we probably watched that 5 or 8 times just with him. And then sometime after Escape from LA came out, I must have blurred a lot of times that I was really watching Escape from LA because now that was a more popular TV showing, right? Syndication. And I was blurring that with my Escape from New York watching. So it's when I watched this recently, I was very surprised at some of the scenes that weren't in it. Actually, I'm not kidding.
Where's Bruce Campbell?
I really thought the basketball scene, for example, was in both of them. So that's the level. And then when I saw him fight the huge guy, I'm like, wait, what? And then I'm like, oh, right. And then he's going to have the axe with the nails. But at first I was dumbfounded. So this movie took me aback. I must not have seen it for 10 years. Wow. And I thought I saw it multiple times in the last 10 years. But truth be told, again, in total, I've probably seen this movie at least 10 times in a start to finish sitting.
Can I ask you guys a question? And so when I asked for questions, Norbert sent me a question. And he sent me one that I'm such a Snake fanboy that I didn't know if I could answer, but I'm kind of happy that Norbert sent it to me. So Norbert sent me a question. He's like, do you ever notice how with even the badass stares and deadly silences, Snake Plissken is fairly incompetent? Do you get the vibe that Snake is incompetent in this movie?
I know exactly what he means. I'm not saying that I felt that, but when I watch the movie now, and you think of the way that action stars evolved well after 1981.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they started to get good at everything in the late 80s. And then in the 90s, they were almost like everyone's an expert of everything, regardless of how the actor did. And then you get into the nowadays, and Vin Diesel's crew are superheroes.
Yeah. And
you know what I mean? Like,
Dwayne Johnson's flying every single airplane known to man.
Yeah.
like if you have a crew of 5 people, there's no problem that someone isn't just going to be like, I got it. You know what I mean?
True.
I
can fly this helicopter, no problem.
Yeah.
I think, though, that in the 80s watching this, I never would have thought that. I would have thought he was a tough guy doing what he had to with the skills that he had to make the best of a bad situation, right? But now, today, I get that criticism. You know what I mean? Only in the context of comparing it to more modern movies.
What do you think, Meg?
John has a point. It didn't come across to me as incompetent at all. He has a lot of situations. He tackles them. No one's ever dealt with what's on that island outside of the people that are there. So I think that it wasn't noticeable to me. When you say that kind of thing, I think of Jack Burton. I don't think of Snake Plissken.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the other thing, though, is that everything that I just said about the evolution of heroes applies to goons and applies to the bad guys in this movie as well. The bad guys were not organized. The bad guys were not terribly competent. The bad guys were never like, I got it. You know, they made a lot of mistakes too. This was more realistically fallible across the board. So your hero isn't perfect at everything. He's not Vin Diesel in Fast and the Furious 8. He's Vin Diesel in The Fast and the Furious.
Hey.
Where mistakes are made, and your crew of 5 people who become superheroes 6 movies later almost get totaled out by a trucker driving distracted with one hand and a sawed-off shotgun.
And Vince smiles at Brian at the end, and then Vince's car just wipes out. Or Dom Toretto's car. I'm calling him Vince? Jeez Louise. Dom Toretto's car just wipes out when it gets hit by the truck backing out. So, I mean, in this one, they lose to a trucker, and he flips his car. Like, he's really fallible in that movie.
So would you say that the stakes feel more real because it's more realistic? They're not superheroes?
I think so, and I think that's maybe why people like Snake, because he gets hired for this mission because he knows how to fly the plane. So I have the mission that he went on. He was on mission Gullfire in Siberia. So he knew how to fly he knew how to fly the Gullfire. He was on a different mission. I have it around here somewhere. But so he's on a different mission. He lands that Gullfire on top of the World Trade Center. That's great, but he does it by almost crashing. And then later on, you know, he runs from the what are their names? The Crazies. Barely gets away. He needs some help on that. He gets caught while trying to rescue the president, but then he beats Slag. He wipes him out, and then he blows up the car, but that map was wrong. So I don't think he just doesn't dominate everything. I think do you think he has time for a plan? He just keeps moving forward. He doesn't really think. He's more about. He
doesn't know it's there. You know, he's got to figure out what the layout is and react really quickly. He can't take, you know, the time that Tom Cruise's Mission Impossible crew had to research things. Even when they were in a rush, they'd take like 6 or 8 hours of a sleepless night to put together a mask and get the voice modulation right and to get the schematics to someplace. Yeah. Snake has a total of 23 hours from the time that he left, right, to not die.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if he takes too long, he dies anyway. And you know, we were talking about, you know, him having a tough time. You know, we always like to praise Die Hard because that's like the quintessential movie of the guy maintaining every injury he accumulates during the movie. Well, when Snake gets an arrow to the leg and there's a crossbow quarrel to the leg and there's 40 minutes left of that movie, he never misses a limp. He limps every damn step of that movie, right? Mm-hmm. Like, and so like, what other movies really make the effort to do that or take the risk of giving your hero a hobble so early and not in the final fight?
Jeez, I can't think of one. I was watching Fast Forward the other day. Dom Toretto. Jeez Louise. I'm mixing those up. But Dom Toretto.
Diesel.
I think that since Vince Vaughn has had a couple super tough roles lately, you might be merging them.
Well,
man,
isn't Vince the guy in the 5th movie?
Yeah. So we just watched. So I'm blending everybody. But in the 4th one, Vin gets shot in the shoulder. and he shrugs
That's
it off.
the Mexico one,
Yeah.
right?
And then they're like, we'll get you some help. And then we never hear about it again. So I'm kind of, maybe, I don't know, Revenant? Does he just sort of grunts a lot and trudges along on that?
Yeah.
I can't think of one.
Yeah,
I mean,
movies where people get really beat up.
I mean, we have a hero limping along, but Snake doesn't have time for plans. And in the commentary with John Carpenter, which I really liked, they said that he's a 15 seconds from now guy. he's not really thinking too far in the future.
That's kind of like someone who's always looking for their next 10-second car.
Yeah. Hey, you blew up my 10-second car. I want another one.
Ready or not, she suffers through.
Oh yeah, she has her beat up hand.
And the rib cage scratch.
Oh yeah, she has to deal with that. That's a good one.
Doesn't she roll an ankle at some point?
I don't know. We need more limping super action stars, John.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this is in no way a negative criticism of Samara Weaving, but whatever injuries she took them in shockingly better stride than Snake took his injury.
Yeah. I mean,
but that's just movie. It's cultivating a lot of excitement. Whereas Snake, he is limping. He is limping like a peasant running from smog before he blows fire down the Shire. He is struggling. He doesn't have a moment where he toughens up and doesn't feel the arrow anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's limping at the end.
Right. Every time you see him run, too, it's the same limp as when he first had. It's admirable that John Carpenter had him do that. And that, Kurt Russell wasn't huge then, but that Kurt Russell didn't resist it. But Kurt Russell never really struck me as having a lot of ego behind his characters.
Yeah, never. And we talked about that a lot on the Big Trouble in Little China commentary. And also, what's really interesting is, Megan did a bunch of research on this, too. This comes up on every article where they had worked on Elvis together, and Kurt really wasn't known as an action hero. Mm-hmm. And so when he cast him as Snake Plissken, people were like, what is happening? Why is the man who wore the tennis shoes an action hero? Why is Elvis playing Snake Plissken? But
didn't they want Tommy Lee Jones and a few other people?
Tough guys, chew on unlit cigars and I don't know, make them while smoke. I don't know. But yeah, so they cast him in here, but I think that's what makes it work, right? Is Kurt not having that ego, John? You think so?
I think, we've seen through his whole career, but I guess this was before we could have known that, right? But he's always been really good at embracing a character more than his fantasy of a character.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't.
He's always, people want to be their best self version of a thing, and he probably just heard what John Carpenter told him and read what was on the paper. It was like, I'm going to be that, and not necessarily the most glistening version of that I can be. Mm-hmm. Very sincere, the word you use a lot that feels perfect here, very earnest depiction, I think, of the character from paper to screen.
And I love and I also like that he's working opposite of Lee Van Cleef in this film, who starred with Clint Eastwood in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And then you have Kurt Russell doing a Clint Eastwood voice during that. But I love it when he says, "President of what?"
Right. And it's the best line.
And, I love that scene because they didn't have much money for this movie. And if you watch it, they shot a master of it with them kind of both in frame, and then they just did 2 other angles. So nowadays you have a lot more coverage on that, but I felt like it was the perfect amount. I feel like they hid their budget really well. And also, Megan and I were researching the low light lenses. Did you get, what was Kundi saying about that?
Oh, that they just used special lenses in order to get the most light in the dark scenes. And
so, John, this might make you say, oh my God, but didn't they, the f-stops were that much wider in the aperture, so they were able to get a lot more light into the lens?
Yeah, that's typically at least for digital cameras, that's how it works. I'd have to go in and look at the names on these, which I'd love to learn more about the actual cinematography of this movie, but that's gotta be tough in these dark buildings, not great lighting, not a lot of budget. You probably bring in the best lens you can to get the footage. And I know that people say it's very gritty. I've seen a lot of articles say it's grimy, and that's that high gain sort of look to it. It's got grit on the film. Yeah,
because that's what you capture low light, but you have to deal with the grain. But I dig it. And they also use the Panaglide, which they use in Halloween, but now it's a Steadicam. But they didn't have any money for it. And it kind of reminded, we did a Night of the Comet podcast where the director's like, you just need 2 or 3 wides and people believe your world. And in this one, they probably have 2 or 3 big wides.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you believe the world. So they made sure to get that train scene immediately on one take with Kurt Russell walking around to get the whole world. And then it gets a little bit more singular at a time, streets and stuff like that. So, but that scene, they just lit it with practical fires. Isn't that crazy? Like, Cundy just lit a bunch of fires, and then he shot it on a Panaglide, which is like a Steadicam. And then the dude went on to shoot all the Backs of the Futures, Jurassic Park.
Wow.
The guy's a baller. It's annoying, John. He's too good. He's too good.
So when we were talking about that scene, though, where he sits down with, I love the character's name. Right, but with Lee.
Oh, Lee Van Cleef, yeah.
Right, when he sits down with him. It occurred to me when I was watching on YouTube the deleted first scene that got him in prison, right? So there's this like, I don't know, 8-minute deleted scene of, it's almost like him robbing a future bank and then going through like the subway system with his buddy and getting caught eventually. But without that scene, we just know that he got arrested. Yeah. I don't think they ever said anything about what landed him in that office to eventually go to New York.
No, they don't. And that was, someone wrote a novelization later on. There's tons of articles about it, or I guess you could go read the novelization.
Now, but we look at, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, they just say that it gives a ton of that backstory. It answers what happened to Fresno Bob and why was Snake arrested? How did he lose his eye? So it kind of goes into that stuff. But I think in the context of this movie, it's just so, it jumps right in. It's interesting without it.
Mm-hmm. When we see a dude with an eye patch right away, you just assume, oh, he did something actually way more intense than robbing a bank.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't see too many people. And that was Kurt's idea. He was like, I want an eye patch. And John Carpenter's like, okay, that sounds good. I like their collaboration, don't you? They have a weird collaboration that I love.
That sounds good.
They love putting John Carpenter loves putting big hats on them, eye patches. He loves sleeveless shirts, lipstick. He likes making Kurt Russell look silly at times, and it makes me happy. I dig it. And all right, this is really random, but I just got to do this real quick before I forget. They've been talking about Lee Wannell writing the remake of this film. And since
of this,
yes, Escape from New York, Lee Wannell, who just hit it massively with Invisible Man.
Is this? Yeah, he did that.
And he did Upgrade.
Wait, is this really going to happen, or is this a rumor?
He is writing the script.
Is it a remake or is it a prequel?
Remake.
Okay.
And he said in an interview that he wants Wyatt Russell so the fans don't riot. But
right, that's right. I remember you mentioning this. Okay.
I wrote down 25 names.
Don't riot, get Wyatt.
Don't riot. I'm going to read you guys a name of 25. I'm going to read you 25 different actresses' names, actors. And you're going to pick 2, and we're going to narrow it down to 1 that we think could star in The Escape from New York.
Wait, we're each picking 2?
You each pick 2.
Okay.
So here we go.
Wait, it has to be from your list?
Yes. Has to be. No Zac Efron, Ryan Reynolds, or Dwayne Johnson.
Chris Hemsworth.
No. Here's my list. Sung Kang, Ok Bin Kim from The Villainess, Chris Pine, Emily Blunt, Ryan Gosling, Henry Golding, Chris Pratt.
Too fast.
Oh, Chris Pratt, Logan Marshall Green from Upgrade, Wyatt Russell, Oscar Isaac, Gina Carano, Pedro Pascal, Melanie Laurent, Isa Gonzalez, Joe Taslim, Daniel Kaluuya, Cynthia Erivo, Michelle Rodriguez, Dev Patel, John Boyega, Scarlett Johansson. I don't even know who that one is. I don't know that name. So we'll not do that one because I don't know who that is. But yeah, so I read all those names to you. Do you want me to read them again?
No.
I got it.
All right, so.
I was scribbling furiously as you were reading.
All right, so, Meg, what's your first?
Chris Pine.
Chris Pine. John, what's yours?
I just want to go on the record. I scribbled down 5 names, and none of them were women, but it's specifically because I think all the women listed, I can picture women in this role. Just none of the ones that you mentioned. So if anyone ever judges me for not picking any women.
Where's Emily Blunt? Come on.
I said Emily Blunt.
Did you?
Yeah.
But I still don't picture her in this kind of role.
Carano, Melanie Laurent from 6 Underground Meg. All right, who's let's see, John, who's your first?
So you did Pine?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Surprise.
Logan Marshall Green.
Ooh, okay. Upgrade reunion.
He had that little scruffy look in Upgrade. I'd like to see that scruff magnified. I see a little beefier. He doesn't need to be big, right? But just like Kurt Russell build, at least.
He had long hair in Invitation too. He can pull off the locks. All right, Meg, who are you picking?
Pedro Pascal.
Pedro. All right.
Okay, now I only get two.
Yeah.
Part of me really wants to go Ryan Gosling, but he's gotten too many cool roles already, especially with the new Blade Runner. So I'm gonna go Joe Taslim.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna pick two of these, and you and Megan are gonna decide who should star in it.
Okay.
How's that sound, John? You and Megan will decide from the two I pick.
Okay.
So it's either gonna be I can't do it.
You're picking one of each of ours? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, one of each. So okay. Wow.
Oh, I spun you with Taslim, didn't I?
Yeah, because like The Night Comes for Us is the best action film I've seen in years. Logan is awesome in Upgrade. Chris Pine I think would be reliably gritty, and I think he could pull off the dial. But I'm gonna go with this: Pedro Pascal or Joe Taslim.
Okay. My criticism of Chris Pine, by the way, it's not that he wouldn't do a great job potentially, especially with his hair in Bottle Shock. Right? But my criticism of him is that he's a safe choice.
Oh, I like it. So yeah, I mean Logan probably wouldn't have been. So let's do Pedro Pascal or Joe Taslim between you two.
Ooh. Oh God, that's very conflicting.
That's hard.
You see, you know what's funny is that I feel like Joe Taslim, just by inherently of him, the human, would handle any physical combat or stunt work or just sheer stature work better. And I think Pedro Pascal is just going to be the actor who captures the Pliskinness.
Yeah, we know he can do strong and silent after watching The Mandalorian. I would go with Joe, but my caveat is has to be in his native language because he's so good. He can move a lot faster. I love all of his movies that come out of Indonesia, so that would be my pick.
I'm gonna say I don't know if he can pull off a mullet.
Yeah.
Well, is it
shag,
is it going to be updated for modern look, or is it going to be set in the 80s?
They both have eye patches, and they both have scars.
Pliskin without a serious shag.
They both have scars to cover up their dimples because Kurt wanted a scar to cover a beard and a scar, so no one saw his baby blue dimples.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, which is a true fact. All right, it's up to you guys. I'm staying out of this. You two.
Well, you see, I'd love to see that movie. You know what? I'm even going to say my same criticism of Chris Pine. Pedro Pascal is a safer choice of the two, and I'm not saying I'll never like a safe choice, but before I see the movie, I want the unsafe choice. I want the integral choice, and I think Joe Taslim's that.
You going with Joe Taslim?
Yeah, he was going to be my other choice.
Do you know who my picks are?
Who?
I want to see what y'all think about this.
You would have picked Emily Blunt.
Yes.
And Scarlett Johansson.
Dev Patel.
Okay. Meh.
I think it's Dev's time. He's in The Green Knight, that new A24 action film.
That's him? Oh, that's right. That's him.
Yeah, his
Wow.
silence.
That was a lot of silence. I hope you keep that.
No, the trailer for that looks wicked.
Dude, he looks like a badass, and he's also a badass in Hotel Mumbai. Like, he's a badass in that. Like,
I like the woman who, I don't know who she is, who was in Extraction.
oh, yeah. She's from Patterson.
Mm-hmm.
I love Patterson.
She was tough. She was very believable.
All right, so which one would you guys pick over mine? Emily Blunt or Dev Patel?
Blunt.
Blunt. Go full Edge of Tomorrow and just wipe people out?
She could do
Yeah,
it.
I feel like she'd need to go full on like Jessica Biel Blade Trinity, though.
I want her to go the opposite. I want her to go Edge of
Gritty.
Tomorrow, Emily Blunt.
I just think
There's
she's
no
too
yoga.
dainty.
There's no yoga.
I want her to go Women from the Descent.
Oh, Juno? What if they sent the ladies from the Descent in there?
Well, yeah, but I'd find them more credible. They have less long builds.
I think Blunt could do it. I got Blunt. Blunt or Patel. We picked a good cast here. I'd watch any of these movies. I'd watch Pine.
I'd watch any of these movies.
I'd watch
No
Logan.
no matter who they cast, I'm going to be excited to see it, but very nervous.
Mm-hmm.
I think Logan Marshall Green would pick a very eclectic snake. I could see him being this kind of like an oddball snake.
Some interesting idiosyncrasies would be added to the character.
And with Logan Marshall Green, they feel organic. Chris Pine, I think, would be like a rakish snake, which I would like from. And then, I mean, Pedro, I think, would just capture I think he'd be the closest to capturing the Kurt Russell essence. Joe Taslim is just a badass, and he would destroy people, and I would love to see that. Dev Patel, I think, could probably come close to capturing the Kurt Russell. And then Emily Blunt, Edge of Tomorrow, I think she'd do a great job. I think she'd just do a great job. You wouldn't feel like she's trying to act tough. Like, I would buy her. Like, Edge of Tomorrow, I think that's one of my favorite. Wait, what about Eva Green from 300? Rise of an Empire.
She would wreck shop.
Yeah. I don't know. But no, this was good. I mean, I had fun with this. Let's in the end, let's say Joe Taslim, Gareth Evans directed, Indonesian, Escape from New York.
Mm-hmm.
Holy mackerel. That sounds beautiful. All right. So how about this? Let's take a quick break. And then when we come back, we'll talk more Escape from New York. Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. And we got a last-minute thing here from David Thompson, who's going to be joining me on an upcoming episode about Sorcerer, the 1977 film directed by William Friedkin and starring Roy Scheider. It's an excellent episode, and you need to look out for it. But here's what Dave wrote on Movies, Films, and Flicks Facebook. He wrote, I want Escape from Planet Earth, where Snake has to fight his way to the last Mars colony shuttlecraft and blows up Earth while flipping it off. Then turns to find a space shuttle full of women and guns and becomes king of Mars. Make it happen. All right.
There's a lot of process.
What was that like? What was it? Guy Pearce movie, Lockout?
Lockout.
It sounds like the opposite of Lockout.
Yeah, pretty much.
I want reverse Lockout. That's a Joe Taslim movie right there. If we're mixing Lockout with Escape from, that's the Joe Taslim. That is the Joe Taslim movie right there.
Oh my gosh.
Mark, didn't you say there was a lawsuit with Lockout and John Carpenter?
The Luc Besson and the people who produced lawsuit got the snocker suit out of them by. I mean, it's Escape from New York. They got the Living Daylight suit out of them.
It's a conglomeration of them because the president's daughter.
Yeah, they got the Living Daylight suit out of them for
Here's
that one.
a gun and an apple. Don't talk to strangers.
I love Guy Pearce action hero, but I want Joe Taslim in space flipping off Earth.
I love that since then he's strayed towards guy in sweater.
Yeah. Guy Pearce's sweater game has become
Well,
excellent.
he's also like guy who's 50 now.
It's just, it's so delightful.
I love
his cardigans.
His sweaters in Bloodshot, second to none.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
I mean, the way he wears a sweater, John, you know how I like cardigans. I can't wear a Guy Pearce cardigan.
Is it like nearly Oliphant level?
No one's Oliphant level.
No
one can. Oh, yeah, I would say so. Like, if there's a podium of one, like, so you know when they do the podium where one's the tallest? Oliphant would be like 50 stories in the air, right? Okay. Number 2 would be Patrick Wilson, right? He has a very good sweater game. Like, but he'd be like 10 feet in the air. I would put Guy Pearce in third, but he's like 2 feet.
Aww.
He's in third place, though. That's good.
He's literally shorter than his own height.
I don't know.
No. He's standing on a 2-foot podium.
You're not giving him credit.
Yeah. Wait, you think Guy Pearce rocks a better cardigan than Timothy Oliphant?
I don't know. He's up there.
Wow.
He does a good cardigan. He does a good one. I'll give him a good cardigan.
Why am I so worked up about Oliphant cardigan?
I have no
Honestly,
idea.
I think that Fassbender is higher than Guy.
Oh,
well,
wow.
I think his
And Jude
turtleneck
Law.
game.
And Jude Law.
I think Fassbender pound for pound is the best turtleneck.
Pound for pound, best turtleneck. I love that.
Who wears a better turtleneck than Fassbender?
Oh man.
Statham?
Oh yeah. Dang.
Come on.
He really does own a turtleneck.
Yeah, you just wrecked it for me, Meg.
But in a world where Statham didn't exist, I don't know if you can come up with a good mulligan.
Yeah.
I do like bringing it back to this movie. Snake's sort of cut off like right at the neck.
He's wearing Under Armour.
Neckline.
Yeah.
But it's a near turtleneck.
Oh yeah, you're right.
He was like one of the first people to wear microfiber.
Yeah, no, I mean, what? There were
moisture wicking fabric.
I think he is. And then Norbert Morvan also said that he's like, "Can your pants get any tighter?"
Yes,
Kurt?
they can. Have you seen Walton Goggins in his TV show The Unicorn?
Walty Goggins wears tight pants.
They even make fun of it all the time.
I mean, Snake's wearing tactical stuff. You know, when you fight zombies, John, as we well know,
he's just a very fit human.
You can't have tight clothes or loose clothes when you're fighting people. So
unless it's spandex.
Yeah, unless it's spandex. I mean, you need tight-fitting clothes when you're out there fighting
and moisture-wicking fabric.
Yeah, and little zippers on your shoulders for some reason.
Flair.
Tchotchkes. But he looks, I mean, that's a great sleeveless shirt. I'd still put up as Kurt Russell's best sleeveless shirt.
I want to know why in 1988 the crime rate increased by 400% to five-fold the original crime rate in just that year.
It's impressive.
You're going to have to read the book, Mark, and let us know.
Yeah, I should have done the novelization. I'll let you all down. I think here's what it is. I don't have it. I don't got it. Maybe an economic collapse, and then that led to mass unemployment, and then a new drug called Jingle Jangle.
Oh, yeah.
Like in RoboCop. Like a RoboCop movie.
There it is. Yep, exactly. Everything.
Jingle Jangle.
That's from Riverdale.
It's from Riverdale.
That's a TV show called Riverdale.
There was a drug called Jingle Jangle in that?
Yeah, it's so ridiculous.
What's the other one? Something Rocks?
Fizzy Rocks.
Yeah, there you go.
Fizzy Rocks were an actual candy.
So
weren't they? Oh, Pop Rocks. Never mind.
Riverdale's like a bunch of 25-year-old scantily clad kids running around. People get murdered and people become cults, and then they forget about that. There's plot lines that are dropped entirely. I bet you the writers just drink nothing but Red Bull.
Serial killers.
And just scream at each other in a room.
My next question. I want to know your opinion. What proportion of incoming prisoners getting onboarded elect to be cremated on premises in lieu of going to New York?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, all right. So, John, are we led to believe that you get dropped off at a certain point and then there's food that comes in every month? So they get fed in the beginning of every month, correct? Is that what we're assuming?
Right, and then because at the end of the month, the people turn ravenous.
Yeah, they become Guy Pearce.
I feel like they just literally dropped them.
Oh! Yeah, they just kerplunk them on the ground?
Yeah, it didn't look like there was a door in that wall anywhere.
Yeah.
They had to climb out.
Do you think they take them by boat or helicopter?
I think they do an airdrop.
Airdrop?
Yeah, they have to.
Safer.
Now, are all the prisoners dropped off there or just the most violent?
All of them. How else would they get in?
Yeah. So they take every prisoner from the States and dump them in there?
Oh, no, I think it's just very violent people.
The Snake Bliss?
They catapult them.
Oh my gosh, John. Trebuchet.
They treb them in. They trebuchet them in, and if they survive, then they get to live in New York.
Yeah, why not?
There's a big launch. There's a big pile of mattresses that you can land on.
Why would there be mattresses? It's a prison. They just launch them and let it happen.
And see what happens?
Survival of the baddest.
Well, I mean, realistically, you just trebuchet and launch them into the river, and if they start to swim back away from the island, you shoot them, and instead they swim back towards the island and they become prisoners. You do that too.
I like that. That's practical. But John,
that's like the real world. That's like if Donald Trump made the decision.
You're Jacksonville John, all right, John?
Oh, because Bruce Campbell and all his mania.
Aww.
Yeah, you're exactly from Evil Dead. You're Jacksonville John, and you got offered a job in this dystopian future to where they said, "Hey, Jacksonville John, we know about you in Jacksonville. You do a lot of trebucheting. We want you to trebuchet people into New York." Would you take the job?
I mean, if it's a tough economy, absolutely. And even if not, I get to trebuchet people? I think so.
Yeah, so the novelization claims that the police are super brutal and corrupt. And what happens to Fresno Bob in the world, according to the novel, is that he is flayed alive and Snake has to watch. So if I was propositioned to trebuchet people, I would probably do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be the flay guy.
I don't want to be flayed alive.
Oh.
I wouldn't be
But
Florida.
imagine that's the consequence if you say no.
Brooklyn Bobby Flay.
You say no, we drop you in New York.
Yeah, you get trebucheted by Jacksonville John.
Mm-hmm.
So, John, would you run one trebuchet or three?
I mean, I first I want to master my craft with one, but eventually I think I'd like to think I could handle three.
Would you take an apprentice?
Well, I mean, you have to. That's your legacy. You need to pass that skill. And then when they're apprenticing someone else, that someone else is like, man, you are so good at this, and they'll be like, no, man, I learned from Master John.
Jacksonville John.
Jacksonville John, Master Jackson, God Emperor Jacksonville John of the Trebuchet Kingdom.
Would you take bribes to oh man, this guy's a jerk. I'm going to shoot him into a building. Or, hey, this guy seems kind of nice. He might have been framed. I'll shoot him to a nice cushy bushy area. Like, would you have that much control of your trebuchets, and would you take bribes?
I never knew cushy and bushy could be alliterated like that. So I guess I'd take advantage of that option just by virtue of saying those two words back to back.
I like this, John. You got a good...
Cushy bushy.
Cushy bushy. Speaking of cushy, the first scene that we have on the grounds of Manhattan Island, all I could think of was, what kind of hair products do they have there?
Yo, man.
I mean, whatever you can raid.
Romero. What's Romero using?
Poop.
Well, he's
dirt.
using. I remember something that I used to use called like a ice spiker.
Whoa.
Remember when I had the sharp spiky hair that I occasionally colored?
I got
back
6
in, like,
stitches from that.
But you see, it's not just him, because Adrian Barbeau's hair is always immaculate.
Yes.
Right?
Always.
So there, and I realize it's Manhattan Island, but it's been a prison at this point for well over a decade. Now maybe I guess someone like organized this stuff, but at some point it's got to be running out.
She worked for Brain. So do you think
he's good at finding things?
Yeah. So I think pre-Brain she didn't have that hair, but when she got with like Brain, they formed a nice relationship, the two of them. They were very loyal to each other. That's when her hair helped, because they lived in that, like, so they actually shot in UCLA in California, the school that John Carpenter come back where he graduated and shoot there. Yeah, the library. But that guy has a massive, beautiful area.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, he probably has a ton of hair products in there, John. But he
has the chemical compounds to make them up. He could probably formulate it.
And Romero trades hats for cassettes. So I bet you Romero's out there trading for hair product.
That could be happening. Okay, all right, I have another big question. What do you think that Isaac Hayes, the Duke of New York, did to become the Duke of New York? Because everything about his character does not strike me as the tough, no-nonsense guy who becomes the Duke of New York.
All right, sorry to jump in, Meg.
He strikes me as someone who would be elected.
So I think he comes in, and it's almost like, you know, how in Dredd, how she builds up power one block at a time. I think he gets a hold of Romero really early, right? He and Romero team up. Romero, you know, maybe he saved Romero from an altercation from what do they call him? The Crazy. So he saves Romero somehow. Romero's like, I got your back. They take over a building. They gain a couple people, right?
They get some cars.
Cars. Romero knows how to fix things. They know how to do this. And I mean, Isaac Hayes, he knows, you know, the Duke, he knows how to work on those cars. So they build up one block at a time. They gain that. Then they go to get 2 blocks. And then they slowly start working their way through it. I mean, they're smart. They know how to, they trust Brain. You see that Duke lets Brain work. Like, he kind of lets him do his thing. So I think slowly, block by block, Romero and the Duke build their empire.
Just like, see, I have an easier time imagining, what'd they call her? Mama in Dredd?
Yeah, Mama, yeah.
I have an easier time imagining her instilling influence.
Yeah.
And
she
having
also
it work.
Keeps people drugged up too, right?
She was brutal. Killed the living daylights out of people. And then she had the drugs.
That's it, but just her disposition.
Yeah.
I see it working better. Like, whereas the Isaac Hayes, I like him as the Duke, right? I love knowing he's the Duke. I love seeing him as the Duke. But when I think of his journey to the Duke, I have difficulty imagining that happening without him just getting killed. I think it's too much of a free-for-all. There are too many crazies. There are too many, not literally the crazies who are coming out of the sewers. There are just too many violent offenders and sociopaths. When I think about the logical ascension, with him not being a gigantic, brutal, ripping off the head kind of guy. Yeah. You know what I mean? I have more difficulty buying his journey, even though I love him as the charismatic leader.
And his twitch whenever he sees Snake.
Oh, yeah.
He has the eye twitch. Did you notice that?
Oh, yeah. So I saw that. Was that more than once? Because there was one scene where I really noticed it.
He does it when Snake's around or he's annoyed by Snake. And so that was his idea.
He mentioned that like in a commentary, or someone mentioned that?
Yeah, so basically Snake annoyed him so much, and he knew about Snake, that he got a twitch. So I really think, all right, this is what I see. Brain has his own world, right? He's very close friends with Romero. Romero's rubbing the little feather on his hat when they're hanging out and he's shooting the president.
That was so strange. When he was doing that, I was imagining he had a small dog.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so he seems to really inspire loyalty by letting people kind of be. He doesn't seem like a despot. Like, he seems to, you know, that guy at the train station when Brain comes and the guy's like, well, I was told to watch the president. Like, he gives people, like, he's not ruling people, I don't think. I don't think they're too afraid of him. I think
they're loyal, but they're allowed to do what they want because they're loyal to him. So maybe he has guys that do the cruel stuff.
And he understands
Or
psyche.
maybe you let them do what they want a little bit because you know that everyone in here is a violent sociopathic criminal, and if you hold too hard a hand over them, you get stabbed when you're not looking.
Yeah, I mean,
Exactly.
So what do you think? Is that a good explanation? Him and Romero work their way up, and he trusts people enough?
That's the best explanation. I'll call it that. It's the best explanation. It's a scenario that I have difficulty with, but I couldn't imagine a better one.
Hey, tomorrow you'll call me up and be like, hey, Mark.
The only so this isn't him doing it though. If he was just one of the first.
Yeah.
If he was one of the first, the next 2 or 3 people who come in, Isaac Hayes is not a small man. The next 2 or 3 people come in happen to be violent criminals, but you don't have guns, and they're not big guys. So now he's the toughest of the 4 and they follow him. Well, now he has 3 goons. So now even if a big guy like you or I comes in, well, he has a team of 4 and maybe very quickly things fall in line. So if he was one of the progenitor criminals on the island, that's actually the easiest way it is for me to follow. But that's not statistically probable.
I like either way. But I think Romero plays a big part.
He does, yeah. And you know what else? He has the crazy factor.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
well,
he's wiry,
seems
too.
to be all around, too. He's kind of infiltrated into every group.
Yeah. Who?
Romero.
He's crazy.
Yeah, but he's like kind of soft-spoken, but still very menacing.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. And Carpenter gave him free reign on set. Just do your thing, man. I don't want to deal with this. Like when he died, he got the stab scene. He's like, yeah, he made choices.
That sound he made.
Carpenter's like, yeah, he made choices. He did that. So that's fine. But
I liked it.
Yeah, no, I dig it. Now, I have another question. Which henchman would you rather be? A stormtrooper or one of these guards in New York whose helmets are just pitch black and you're running around looking at nothing?
When you say stormtrooper, do you mean in Star Wars?
Yes, a stormtrooper in Star Wars, or one of these guards that has a helmet. Like visibility. You'd rather be a stormtrooper?
Yeah. I have a blaster.
Not a guard with a visor you can't even see through. Those are the weirdest helmets.
I'm actually saying those guards just because they tend to be a lot more successful.
But they have no, like, I guess from vision standpoint, I'd rather be a stormtrooper because those guys have a black visor in front of. Like, that's not. Did you see the guys falling, John? Coming out of the helicopter and tripping, and Carpenter's like, "There's my SWAT team falling all over the place."
I did not notice that. I did not notice that.
That's what Carpenter said. He's like, "There's my." He's like, and then Kurt Russell did his famous cackle, and he's like, "Yeah, they had no idea where they were running."
I like how at the beginning of the movie, Snake just steps off a bus into this world.
Yeah.
He's on a.
He seems nonplussed.
It's chill.
Was he nonplussed on a bus?
Not yet.
Jeez Louise. And then, I don't know. So, do you think he likes Houck, played by Lee Van Cleef, John?
I think he's just indifferent.
Yeah.
He strikes me as the guy who knew what he did, and he knew the sentence he was given, and he's just like, oh, I'm going to sit on the other side of a desk and talk to this guy, and now I got to radio in so that I don't die.
I think Snake likes Snake.
Yeah. Snake's in for Snake. I mean, and that scene, I don't know what you guys think about this, but when he first goes into the play, watching the prisoners put on the play, and all the directors and all the cast, like the main guys were playing the instruments, in air quotes. When he goes down there, there's those 4 men, like, raping that woman, and he just walks He walks right past it.
That is the weirdest scene in the whole movie for me, by the way.
Yeah, because the nudity, and it really goes against it. But I guess what it does...
No, that Snake did nothing.
Oh, do you think he would have done something?
Well, it's not that I think that he would. It's that the movie gave me information that he wouldn't.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to fault the movie on something, I'm going to fault it on that.
I think it cements in who he is, though.
He stopped and he stared and he thought about it, and you saw that on screen. Mm-hmm. And then he walked away.
I guess one thing it shows and it doesn't tell, which I guess is good storytelling, but all audiences were blown away by that. They're like, why would the man not help the woman?
Because he's not a good guy.
Yeah, you're right.
But the man who's not a good guy wouldn't have stopped, quietly watched, not smiled or engaged, and then walked on, in my opinion.
He was thinking how he could spin it to his advantage.
Yeah.
Well, he's the only one with a gun, so he could have spun that to his advantage momentarily.
He's not wasting bullets on that, is he?
He doesn't have to. He's the only one on the island with a gun. Everyone knows no one else has a gun. They even say that. That's what I mean. That one moment, it's 30 seconds of film time.
Yeah, I guess from a storytelling technique, I like the showing, not telling. So I kind of like that they added it in there. I think it creates something. I like that they tried to do something different, and they admitted to it. Like, they knew it was controversial, so I like that. And there's another thing I really liked about Snake, which I don't know if you noticed, but when the crazy starts banging on the
using like the diner thing,
the manhole covers. Snake,
okay, yeah.
Snake doesn't get up immediately and run after him. He waits and sees what's happening. And then later on, when the cars come, Maggie and Brain run away, but he stands there and he watches him. And so Carpenter and Russell said on set that Snake's not the type of guy that's going to run towards something. Like, he's running towards things, but a lot of times he'll look at situations and then he'll kind of assess, and then he'll move on. So, when he watches those people doing that stuff, attacking the woman, when he sees the cars pulling up, he stands there and watches when they tell him to run. When the guy's banging on the manhole covers, he sits there and he watches him. So it's pretty interesting how they added that in here with him about how he downloads information. Like, he's not a runawayer. He thinks about it, but I kind of like that about him. I think that's a pretty interesting trait that I don't know if I would have noticed had it not been for the commentary. Did you guys notice that while watching?
Mm-mm.
It's funny. I noticed it so I hadn't seen this in a long time, and I watched it twice in the last week. And the first time I watched it, when he looks at the guy knocking on the manholes, and then the guy goes along, I just figured that the Snake was trying to figure out what in the hell is going on. And maybe that's the case, right?
Yeah.
Whereas the second time, because the guy is doing something very deliberate. It's not just a crazy man. He's only knocking on manholes. He does it twice. So it's something it's not like it's subtle.
Yeah.
And then the second time, and of course I'm reminded of what happens. I'm like, I was still a little apprehensive about what's going on, but I like your explanation of it. That makes a lot of sense to me, that he's just, why run when you don't literally know what you're running from?
It's interesting, right? I think that's kind of cool how Snake downloads. I like that. And I like when also the cannibals, when he first, or whatever, the crazies, he just sits down on the chair. And that's the only time you really see him trying to kind of collect his thoughts. Like, that, it kind of humanizes him a little bit, and I dug that. And then another random thing is, did you know that Donald Pleasance, he plays the president, or Loomis, we'll call him.
President Loomis.
Yeah, he wanted to wear the wig in that scene. Like, he was all about...
That was Donald Pleasance's choice?
Donald Pleasance's choice to wear the wig.
It's funny. Wait, hold on. I said there was one moment that took me out of it when we were just talking about it. That when I saw that wig, even though I totally understand the mania of his captors, it still was something that visually I'm just like, no.
Yeah. Well, don't they hint at if he stays with them, there might be a fate worse than death, but they never say what that is.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So they're just taunting him and taking everything away. And he also built a massive backstory, and he wanted to let that, he wanted to tell John Carpenter about it, and Carpenter's like, no, Donald, I'm cool. So he was like a war veteran, and he had been in the war. So at the end, when he has the gun, he's very comfortable with it.
But he also, you can tell how deeply they affected him too, because he's screaming at the Duke the stuff that they said to him, and he's just going crazy on him.
And earlier, when Russell is rescuing him, when Snake is rescuing him the first time, he says, "Stop shaking, I can't."
Oh, yeah.
And so it's funny that you mentioned the war veteran thing in his backstory that wasn't in the movie, because I was sitting there watching this and him and thinking, like, is he like the only president of that time to not have been a veteran? Yeah. Because he was so rattled, because he was so fazed by everything. Like, if it was in his head that his backstory was that he was a veteran, I don't think he brought that at all until he was shooting a gun.
Yeah, because then he just knows how to work a gun almost immediately and lights up a dude
he crumbled at everything.
Yeah, he was shaking. Maybe he served and was used to being a bully, and then everyone, when he wasn't anymore.
He was used to that cushy bushy life.
The cushy bushy.
I mean, yeah, listen, we all get used to that cushy bushy life.
Oh, wait, so to be fair though, when we first meet him though on the plane, when we meet the president on the plane and early in the movie, did you not think that, like, no one told him he wasn't still playing Dr. Loomis?
His soul was this dark.
He did. He had almost that hissy voice.
Yeah. I can't think of him using a hissy voice in other films. Like, he didn't do that in Wake and Fright. I mean, it works for him, right? I'm sure having Donald Pleasance in your movie made some money.
It works for me.
Yeah.
Because I love him. And it makes me think of other movies that I love.
And do you want to hear another really random fact that we found out? Lee Van
What's
Cleef,
this?
so in the commentary, Lee Van Cleef's knees were very, very bad. So when you watch him walking, he always hated his walking scenes, but Carpenter made him do it. So Megan and I were
that bad.
Yeah, that bad. And his wife was on set to help him. But I asked Megan one time, I'm like, is that scene out of focus? And then you found some research about these takes.
Oh, yeah, the scenes with him and his face are a lot of them out of focus, but they didn't have enough budget to reshoot, and he wasn't available because he was either undergoing treatment or something because of his knees.
Yeah, so they couldn't so if you see some out of focus
So they
stuff
just
with
decided
him,
to make it work.
make it work.
Did you hear what kind of problems he had?
A horseback.
It was from a previous movie.
From his spaghetti westerns when he was out, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly and all those.
Interesting.
He had a major knee accident. And
He never got it fixed.
Never got it fixed. You know that back in the day. Like, I'm too
Typical.
Because he's such a long and wiry guy. I'm more used to thinking of your Kevin Nashes having the knee problems. These very large bodied weightlifters or fighters are who I think of. So it's like he's not the build I think of for that. So poor guy.
But yeah, watch him walk now, and you'll really notice that it was just really tough for him on set. So it's kind of gnarly. And then another thing. You guys are part of the Duke's inner circle of henchmen.
Okay.
Right? You are in his top 15.
I would be.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. There are henchmen in this that have red sunglasses. There are different kind of henchmen, different kind of outfits. Bright purple sunglasses. You're in his top 15. You walk Snake back and forth. You're in his inner circle. You're in his car. What would be like? So Romero has the big hair and the bicep bracelet. I'm not bicep, but he has a bicep bracelet.
Yeah, he does. It's a metal cuff.
Yeah, metal bicep cuff. What would your gimmicks be if you were the henchmen's? So I always go to this. I'd be the Elvis henchman. I'd have the Elvis glasses and big chops. Like I'd just be. I'd
want to be practical in some way. Maybe a multi-utility vest of some sort, but it's cool and it's got leather fringe.
Oh, nice. Would you wear glasses?
Yeah.
And what kind of glasses?
Meg, I'm imagining you to be like more like the demolitionist version of Brain.
Demolitionist.
Yeah, with this utility belt and all the pockets and stuff.
Okay, I can be down for that. I like practical.
Yeah.
Right, and like you're like the tactical response person dealing with that stuff, and I almost imagine that I am the total 80s stereotype. Like person that is loyal to you and your cause, and so I'm the person wearing like in Commando,
yeah,
like with the black racing gloves,
yeah,
and maybe like some
nice.
like mesh sleeveless shirt.
That sounds about right.
You would definitely have a sleeveless shirt.
Oh, and I've got a mustache.
You have a mustache.
What's funny is that no one has ever seen me with just a mustache, but in this case, I'd have a mustache because we're in the 80s.
Would you wouldn't be wearing leather pants though, John? Would you?
Do you think they make leather pants my size?
No. You'd be. I could see you with jorts maybe.
Oh no, because it's the 80s. I almost believe it, even though I don't want to.
I think jort. And what would your weapons be? So what do you think your weapons would be?
Probably there's no guns, right? So knives of some sort, throwing stars,
Snake throws a good knife in this movie.
Sharp stuff.
Sharp stuff. John, would you have a sledgehammer?
Boy, I don't like the hammer. I don't like the hammer.
It's really heavy
I
to
can't have a
carry.
gun, so I can't have like the Colonial Marines giant gun, which is what I'd like to hold, right? Because they had the racing glove almost thing going on.
Yeah.
Nail bats.
So I can't do that. Boy, I'm not a fan of the nail bats, but I might be stuck with something like that. I almost want to think that I might just go like two knives with a downward grip.
I like it. It'd be a little weird to fight you, John. If I was Snake Plissken and I went to an island and you were a henchman and you said two tiny knives, I would be very confused.
Well, but big knives. They're big knives. They're not like kitchen knives.
I'm like, why does this big guy have little knives? I don't know what to do.
Okay, better. Instead of two downward gripped, we're going normal gripped, two giant cleavers.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I see
Does that work better for you?
Butcher,
two
Bill the
giant
Butcher.
cleavers.
Yeah, that you took
I'm
from
gonna
a
take it
butcher
till the night
shop.
comes for us.
You're in Manhattan. There's lots of butcher shops.
Yeah, and you got to wear a big hat to be Bill.
Oh, I'll wear a big hat with some Revo sunglasses. Those ridiculously shaped lenses.
Listen, John, if you want the downward knives, I'm all for it. I'd be very confused if I was a protagonist in a movie and I came across you with two tiny knives.
Well, no, in my head though they were big knives.
Okay.
Well, they weren't
look
small knives. They weren't necessarily machetes, right? But they were big knives.
There's a Far Side comic where these hunters, they're hunting, and they're like, watch out, that rhino has a knife. And there's a rhino with a tiny little knife in his hand. That always made me laugh. There's a lot of coarse quarter stuff in this film. Like not a lot of it's in the street, it's in the corridor. So you got to have something smaller.
Yeah. Well, they have to, because they have makeshift weapons. They can't launch things.
All right.
So it has to be close. Maybe some piano wire.
Ooh.
If the Snake Plissken that I have to fight has a big fish and a hand axe, I'm just going to drop kick him when he dips that axe in that fish, like in Snowpiercer.
That's our first episode right there. Listen to our first. There's a lot of ums and ahs in it, but it's very funny. I wonder
in how many episodes we've referenced axe dipping in fish and drop kicking them.
Not enough.
It's probably like 40.
Oh yeah, easy. Nah, yeah, 40. 40's safe. I would say 20% of our episodes.
Well, you know what I forgot about? The Molotov cocktails. Cabby's good for those.
Oh yeah, Cabby loves those.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that Cabby dies.
Spoilers.
I can't think of that guy's name. So he was in The Devil's Rain.
Oh, Ernest Borgnine.
With Bill Shatner and John Travolta in a tiny role, right? And then like a year after this, he was in Deadly Blessing, Wes Craven's weird like Quaker movie horror. And then later he's like in Basketball.
Yeah.
Like he's done some wacky stuff, man. And he always plays a loony character.
Oscar winner.
Was he an Oscar winner?
Yeah, Borgnine. Yeah, Borgnine won for Marty. No, Marty. Right?
I did not know that.
Yeah, Ernest Borgnine.
Did not know that.
IMDb. Was it Marty that he won for, Meg? What's this movie that he was in? People are probably losing their mind. Wait, yeah, one Oscar, and he won it for. I hope my brain still works, because if this is right. Yeah, Marty. Holy crap. 1955. Best actor in a leading role.
55. 26 years before this. And then he was in Basketball 16 years after this.
Oh, wow. I mean, hey, good pictures. Well, is Basketball a good picture?
I love Basketball. I'm not going to call it a good film.
Got it.
But, I love Basketball.
All right. And then let's see. We haven't even talked about the bridge chase at the end. So, Brain's map is crap, correct?
Right, because he was. I'm the only one who can read it, but it's really. I think it's really just not very good.
Because doesn't Brain say everyone has to go to the left, then he blows himself up? That's how he
said
dies.
He said something vague and generalized.
And then I like though that Maggie. She was like
a bloody death.
Yeah, and they filmed that in John Carpenter's garage because a lot of people in the audience were like, "What happened to her?" I don't know if you guys knew that.
I mean, she is surrounded by blood like no one else is.
Yeah, she gets destroyed.
It's funny in that action sequence when the Duke hits the other car and something flies by. Even when I knew what happened and I'm watching it, I can't tell that it's her. So it's like you just see him hit the car and then boom, there she is laying bloody on the ground.
Yeah, I think they kind of messed that up and they had to reshoot
I assume they tried something and it just didn't work.
I guess they assumed. I guess they hoped that everyone would assume she was dead, but test audiences were like, "What's that?" And you know what's crazy too, John? We'll go back to the bridge in a little bit. When people watched the movie in the beginning, a lot of people didn't know that Manhattan's like an island, and they had to add in those animations in the beginning to show the island of the island, like the.
Well, that serves it well though, because those animations were awesome. They helped get you into the kind of sci-fi futureness of it.
Oh, it's a great idea. They just didn't have them in the beginning because people were like, "Wait, what?"
It's funny you say that though, because whenever I watch this movie, it's not until I'm like halfway through it, but I start thinking like, why don't they call it Escape from Manhattan? It's not Escape from New York.
Yeah.
Well, New York proper.
New York proper.
The city of New York.
I guess Escape from Manhattan or Escape from New York.
But Manhattan is just a borough of New York.
Yeah, because you're not really escaping New York. You haven't escaped New York.
Right. It's just one borough of New York.
Well, it depends on what side of the river he climbs out on.
It's like if you live in Lakeland in Florida and you escape Lakeland, you're still surrounded in Florida.
If he swims to Jersey, he's escaped New York.
Oh, hey. Yeah.
Well, if he swims to Jersey, sure.
Wait, Jersey Shore?
You are.
Oh, okay. Jersey River
not fist pumping and steroids.
But no, the final chase, I think they stretched that budget really well on the bridge. They let him have it for one night. So they just threw a ton of crap like a couple days.
Didn't he buy it for $1?
$1, yep. And they loved him. So they just threw a bunch of crap on it. I just love, John, So you're the production designer on this movie, and you have a big team, but you're just taking dump trucks of stuff and you're crapping it on streets, and then you're just throwing it around. Like, that's what they did on this movie.
Best job ever.
Like, that sounds great. Like, oh, they gotta take the dump truck out, and then they throw it out, and then they throw a bunch of crap in the street, and then they take a snowplow and they knock it off at night or during the day so cars can get by, and then they just crap it all out.
You don't have to worry about messing it up.
Yeah, I love that.
The irony is that every time they scoop it all up and then dump it back out, and now it's a little more beaten up, it actually just looks more legit.
Yeah, exactly. And it makes me really happy how they did this. They're like, yeah, we just threw a bunch of crap out, and we got the special lenses so they could shoot for cheap. But no, I mean, I think if I had to teach, I do teach film.
If you had to teach this film.
Yeah, I think if moving forward, I teach production design a lot. I would teach this film's production design, just simply because of the economics of it and how they look for an area they could shoot in for cheap, which was St. Louis, and stretch a budget. I don't know if you've ever felt like this, John, but you watch the later Purge movies, and I think they're interesting, but you can tell that they stretch their budgets way too far. I've gotten that feeling.
I haven't seen them. I've only seen the first two.
Oh, so like the later ones, I feel like they really stretch their budget, and it feels cheap. Yeah, it does, because they stretch it. And listen, it's ambitious, and I appreciate that. They're trying to do a lot with little.
Do the walls shake when they close doors?
It's just, there's no extras, and they don't have money for it and everything. It just doesn't look, I don't know, they stretch it. But I never felt this. And this is $17 million. Like, they don't really make $17 million movies like this anymore. Mm-mm. I don't know if someone would want to tackle that. I mean, Crawl cost, 15? But that didn't even
Just to remind listeners to what you're saying, 17 million adjusted for inflation.
Yes, so back then it was 6.
How much did Trina Busan cost?
5.
Their CG was occasionally not the best when big piles.
I still remain baffled about that.
But that's crazy.
I don't know how that wasn't 20 to 30.
I lived over there too, and the exchange rate's not that bad. Like, it's not like they were able to get a lot more on those $5 million euro budget. Like, that's once you switch that over, it's not that much more. So maybe actors get paid less, crews get paid less. I don't know, but that movie blows my mind. And the Villainess we watched, I don't know how that movie has a $4 million budget.
Well, yeah.
That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but yeah, so I mean, $17 million on this. John, did you have any more notes? Megan, did you have any more notes about this?
So I have one kind of big one, and I feel like it's a discussion point. So, remember, so many times for regular listeners of the podcast, Mark and I have mentioned Saw. We haven't podcasted about Saw, but we mentioned Saw, and it's almost this phenomenon that everyone thought that Saw Part 1 was this brutal, gory movie, when really it was only brutal in concept and there was very little gore. But because of the way it was delivered, you still almost remembered it as if it was brutal and gory, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So this movie, again, I hadn't seen it in probably 10 years when I really realized that I was probably just seeing Escape from L.A. and merging them. This movie is almost, don't attack me when I say this, is almost not an action movie at all.
It's funny you say that, because we were watching this movie with my father-in-law, and he's like, "Where's the action, Mark?" He's like, "One's getting shot."
Right. This is all atmosphere and world building and implied action, almost like the implied terror of the Saw movies. And so, Snake Plissken is essentially walking through the further of John Carpenter's fantasy of this post-apocalyptic world, because we see all these different scenes that are all dressed up that I was commenting about earlier. But the action when it happens is very fleeting. It's very basic.
Yeah.
And it only works in our memory. Well, I'm not saying it only works like it's a bad thing. It works in our memories because Snake is such a credible character and the world is so believable. But I feel like so little money went into the action and everything went into the world.
Yeah, I would say that this is probably more of a thriller than an action movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the world building, to your point, John, is so good that about 2/3 into the movie, after my dad was questioning where the action is, he's then chanting, "Snake, Snake."
And was that in the ring fight with that monster?
I think so.
Yeah, he was cheering for Snake
with everyone else.
And he was standing really close to the TV, just loving it. And also the scene where, Kurt Russell was married to that woman who was out there with it, Season Hubley.
Chock
Did
full
you know
of nuts
that?
girl.
The lady who gets tore through the ground, that was his wife in real life. At
No
the time.
way.
Yeah. And even that scene, like they rip her down there, and after they talk food, no one ever says that they're going to eat her. But I think the world's so established.
It's
like,
implied.
Ooh, yeah.
They're ravenous.
Like they're
I think I'd struggle to imagine someone didn't realize that was going to happen.
Yeah, and I mean...
And he is not broke up about it. He moves right on.
Well, I love that they say they try to help her for a little bit. Then he gets out of there. He tries to grab her hand. And he's like, nah. But no, and also, John, this is funny. I don't know if you noticed this, but there's a scene where Snake spends about 30 bullets shooting through a wall. And then he dives through it. But
he makes that big circle for him to jump through.
But it's basically like, what, papier mache? Papier mache? Like,
I saw that, but in my head, I'm like, he didn't know that.
Yeah, that's fair.
I know.
That's fair.
I kind of wish he had just kicked it, but it's like he put a lot more effort in.
And then he obliterates that door early on. I've never seen a better door kick in my life, John.
See, if he went through drywall with lath, that metal lath in it, then it'd be like, oh yeah, it's a good thing that he shot up that circle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I dug that. And then, all right, now I have a draft for you guys, and I just came up with it. But do you have any points you want to talk about before we get into the draft?
I got all my bigs.
All right.
Other than the fact, I just have to say, because I first saw this when I was like 10 years old, but is Adrienne Barbeau dressed up like a femme fatale in like every movie she's ever in?
Yes, she is.
Because it seems like it, right? The Fog.
Yep.
And Creepshow and Swamp Thing and this. She's a good actress. She's a good actress. But they're like you're gonna notice her breasts as much as you notice her acting.
Oh, I mean, they're front and center, and I guess they kind of joked about that in the commentary about it, like her outfit. Even she did in the commentary too. Now, also, she was Catwoman's voice in Batman the Animated Series.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
you mean with Mark Hamill?
Yeah, Selena Kyle Batman, and she's also done a ton of voice work for John Carpenter's other movies. She was the computer in The Thing.
I knew that.
Yeah, she's been like the voices in a lot, but she was Selena Kyle's voice in that. All right, so here's my draft. You guys ready for this?
Yeah.
You ready for this?
I'm never ready for this, Mark. I'm always panicked when you come up with the drafts.
All right, so movies featuring snakes.
Snakes.
Yes.
How many do we have to pick?
5 each.
Shit.
Movies featuring snakes. Now, Megan, I let John pick the numbers last time. You get to pick a number, 1 or 2.
2.
2. All right, so
Wait,
Megan.
can you establish to me to what degree?
Doesn't matter. It just
Like
has
it's in the title, it's a major theme.
Doesn't matter. A snake
Has
in
at
the
least
movie.
one major scene.
Just has a snake.
Has a snake.
That's
Snakes, plural.
Snake. Snake.
Okay.
Plissken.
All right.
There's not more than 2 snakes in these movies. There's 1 snake. So that has to be. So there has to be 1 snake in this movie, in any of these movies, and Megan gets the first pick.
I'm furiously trying to jot down notes and struggling to come up with things.
I'm gonna go with something easy.
Yeah.
Anaconda.
All right.
Snakes
Megan.
on a plane.
All right. Anaconda.
Anaconda, by the way, was going to be my first pick.
Let's reach for the easy
All right.
stuff.
Snakes on a plane. All right. So Megan, you're up. Second
I'm
pick.
gonna go with the latest Jungle Book.
Ooh, Jungle Book. That's a good one. ScarJo.
Already struggling here.
I know, right? I don't know these movies.
There's some great rattlesnakes in movies.
Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Oh, no,
I
wait,
know
Temple
one.
of Doom, right? Or Last Crusade. Which
Well,
one?
no, because it was with the wasn't it with the snakes with his dad?
Oh, the snakes with his dad? Wait. He falls into a snake one in Lost Ark. He eats snakes in the second one. Where are the snakes in the third one?
Oh, you know what? It's Lost Ark.
All right,
It's
want...
Lost Ark.
All right.
Because in Last Crusade there were rats, and he said no. Oh, your dad should be here. No, he'd never make it past the rats.
So
I was turning that into that.
You want Raiders?
I'll take Raiders.
All right.
Yeah.
Meg?
Mud.
Oh, yeah. If McSee gets bit by
Oh
snakes.
shit.
That's a good one.
It's a stretch.
Oh! I got a good one.
All right, what is
Okay,
it?
Mel Gibson. Brett Maverick is left to die on horseback and with a noose around his neck in the old tree, and then there's a rattlesnake threatening the horse.
I love it.
Maverick.
Megan.
Is it my turn?
Yep.
Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
That's a huge snake.
Yes.
What was the movie where a bunch of like idiots like Seth Green or something one of them gets bit in the ass by a snake, and he's like, suck out the poison.
Oh yeah, suck out the poison. Wait, oh man, what is that? What is that movie? No, you gotta suck out. It's in his butt.
It's not up a creek.
Without a paddle?
It's not that. It's not that though. That was what I was thinking of. But no, it's
I'll
not
type
that.
movie with snake bite on butt.
Yeah, we'll give that one, see if you can figure out the name.
Movie with snake butt on bite. That doesn't work.
Ew.
Snake bite on butt.
They were freaking out. It's like, just suck out the poison. Like, I ain't sucking out the poison. Like, everyone was freaking out.
Let's see.
Could this be? Oh my god. Oh god, I'm nervous. I'm trying to think.
Oh wait. Oh, here it is. I found it. Let's see.
You did? Really know what I'm talking.
So there's wait. City Slickers? You're talking about City Slickers 2.
Oh my god, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's just so deeply embedded in my youth, I couldn't remember that.
You want it?
That's it. I want that. I want that. Good search. Thank you, Mark. Yep. That was a save. I used my 50-50 and phone a friend there.
I'm here for you guys.
Oh, okay. Okay, I know my last one.
Wait, Meg, can I give you one if you want it?
We'll pick your fifth, and then I'm gonna give you guys an option to maybe, as we move along, swap.
We can have a sixth, and I know one. Okay. Now I know.
Clash of the Titans.
Clash of the Titans.
Medusa.
Oh, which one?
I don't know. The one with
the original.
Yeah, with Kurt.
1981.
1981. Mm-hmm. All right. 1981 Medusa.
With the claymation, they looked awesome.
All right, John, what do you got for your fifth?
Wait, wasn't that? Did I have five already?
You have Snakes on a Plane, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Maverick, and City Slickers 2.
Oh my God! All that stress on that last pick. I thought that was five. Okay, will you allow Mark?
Yes.
The
soldier.
Prometheus snake that gets
the
biologist.
Okay. I thought you were gonna say soldier.
No, the Prometheus snake. Go on.
All right, so you guys get a mulligan here. You can lose one and add one if you thought about one beforehand.
I can't think of any other ones.
Are you happy with yours, John?
Actually, yeah, I am. I mean, Soldier Snake is. If I thought of that previously, I probably would have jumped at it. But I'm happy with my picks.
All right, so Meg has Anaconda, Jungle Book, Mud, Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets, and Clash of the Titans. John has Snakes on. Which Clash of the Titans you want, Meg? Do you want Sam Worthington?
I want the old one.
Okay. Who's the star in that?
Is that Kurt?
81 or something.
Kirk Douglas, isn't it?
Oh, that's
no, wait.
Kirk Douglas. That's
Spartacus.
Argonauts? No.
That's Charlton Heston.
Yeah.
Hold up.
Hey.
Wasn't it Harry something in Clash of the Titans?
Harry Hamlin.
What? I'm pulling some things out here.
It was Harry Hamlin.
That's who it was. All right, so Clash
Maggie Smith is in that.
Oh, really?
Love it.
All right, so I like this.
I'd like a clarification on something else as well. The other movie you picked, Jungle Book, were you going live action or original cartoon?
No, the new live action.
ScarJo.
Because Scarlett Johansson is Bagheera.
Yeah, she's great.
But she's not the snake.
She's a snake.
She's a snake?
Yeah, who's Bagheera?
Bagheera's the panther.
Oh, she's the voice of the snake, I think.
Ka is the snake.
I love the snake in the Brandon Lee.
I remember that. Yeah, that's right. Jason Scott Lee.
Remember that one? That one was creepy.
Yeah. See, I like the visual depiction of the cartoon the most, but yeah, ScarJo is a great.
Her voice is just so good.
Isle of Dogs, great voice work.
You're right. That is actually my favorite ScarJo performance.
She's good.
Well, she's seductive in the way that you would seduce a child to follow you, even though she's bad news.
Oh my God! You know what she'd be great as?
Huh?
Like a PG-13 witch in a Hansel and Gretel.
Oh yeah. Oh. Would she battle Gemma Arterton and Jeremy Renner?
Oh, that would be awesome.
That'd be tough because that's an Avenger and a seasoned vampire slayer / witch slayer against one of the only other human Avengers.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
It's not fair.
But she has magic. She has magic, though.
True.
Well, I like this one. You guys had fun with this. So you guys got snakes, movies with a snake. This was good.
I needed a lot of help with that fourth pick.
You should Google movies with snakes because there are some truly awesome titles out there.
Oh yeah. No Country for Old Men. Josh Brolin gets bit by a snake.
I mean those mega snake. Mark.
Oh, George Giant Octopus.
Piranaconda.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, Piranaconda.
I just want to let everyone know real quick that we have a Speed Racer episode coming out after this one, and I really think you should listen to it because Adam Clement and Jacksonville John, they engage in the most pleasant Susan Sarandon draft I've ever heard in my life. Like, I think it's the most relaxed draft ever. But then this is the first time I've ever added a swaparoo, and swaps get made, and it gets quite dramatic. There's some very good Susan Sarandon teams between these two.
If I knew more about snake movies, I would have swapped, but I don't.
Do you guys? What would you have added?
Nothing.
Oh,
I would not have swapped out Mega Cobra versus or King Cobra versus Megaconda.
Oh my gosh, there's a Lake Placid versus Anaconda.
Oh my gosh. I mean, like I was like little snakes.
There's snakes on a train.
Ace Ventura, right?
Right. Yeah, actually, what was it? Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade did have a snake scene. I just forgot it.
Oh,
in the
wait.
very beginning when he's young on the train.
Oh, do you want that instead?
No. I'm happy. I got the one that I really meant to have. I'm just realizing there was a snake one in that. And then in Temple of Doom, of course, there was the anaconda that was getting served at dinner. There are good snake scenes in all three of them, aren't there?
Conan the Barbarian has some.
Oh, that was the giant. You mean when James Earl Jones turns into a snake? That is a crazy one.
Guys, hard target.
Oh, when he punches the snake. He punches the snake out.
You know
My
what I
name
was thinking?
is Chance because my mama took one.
Why didn't we pick Snake Plissken?
He has a snake tattoo. I would have allowed it.
It's fine. I like my list.
Got it. Well, this was fun.
Oh my God, there was a Tales from the Crypt episode where a guy got a tattoo of the snake and the snake attacked him and killed him.
Oh, jeez Louise. No, thank you. That'd be terrible. All right. Any final thoughts about Escape from New York?
Yes, I posted a video on the Movies, Films, and Flicks Facebook page where a musician, Alex Ball, who's had stuff in Stranger Things and on BBC shows, interviews composer Alan Howarth, who worked with John Carpenter on the score for the entire movie. Very interesting. It's about 25 minutes long. They go through how they created it, all the technology that was a part of it, how John Carpenter's favorite part of the movie, he once said to Alan, is scoring, because he feels like he can step away from being a director at that part. He can turn off all of those things that went into directing and hide in the studio, and it's like a vacation for him.
Oh, man.
So it's very interesting.
You know, this soundtrack sold 80,000 when like the first year's release. 80,000 copies in 1981. That's huge for an 81 movie.
Yeah, and John now tours with his son and his godson, and they play this score among others because John has composed for many of his movies. You know, it was only 5 chords.
I love it. And my favorite, though, is
5 notes.
When we first meet the Duke, Meg,
I love that one too. They didn't get into that in the video, but it's still very interesting.
Yeah, so yeah, go to Movies, Films, and Flicks Facebook. You can see the video. Also, just type in Alan Howarth, right? And then video.
Yeah, it's on his Facebook page as well.
And all the synth work that they did. He tied all the synths together.
Yep, and they used synth, but they also used a variation of acoustic piano, a Fender Stratocaster, Fender Jazz bass guitar, Fender Princeton amp, and a pedal steel guitar to create texture in the sound and sound effects.
They did 7 movies, right, together?
9.
Jeez Louise. I love it. So John, I think Megan told me that he was too busy to do Halloween 2, so he's like, hey man, go take care of Halloween 2. Go do the score for me. I love it.
Yeah, this guy did The Thing, They Live, Halloween 2 through 5, Christine, Big Trouble in Little China, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Back to the Future 2 and 3, Little Mermaid, Total Recall, 5 Star Trek movies, Poltergeist, among others.
And
Poltergeist!
Whoa! Didn't he get his big break by coming up with Star Trek's the movie theme?
Yeah, and he auditioned to do the first Star Trek The Motion Picture, and he came up with the sound of the Enterprise, and how he did some research and he felt like the acceleration, in space would take a while, and he drew it out, and when he sent that in for his audition, they chose him for the role, and that's how he got his role on Escape from New York.
Wow, that's cool. Any final thoughts, John?
Not a final thought, but it's been a long time since I threw out a shout out.
Oh.
And you remember about one or two dozen episodes ago, we covered Jennifer's Body, which is probably just a uniformly unappreciated or underrated or misunderstood movie. And when we were doing our social media sharing of that episode, And the way that we went about it, we apparently caught some eyes of people who on their first watches, just like us, didn't really get what that movie was properly about. And so Billy Crash and Johnny Numb in The Last Knock, in their most recent episode that actually dropped a day before our recording today,
Hodgepodge,
was their recent Hodgepodge. And they mentioned Jennifer's Body, and Billy Crash rewatched it because of how we were talking about how people misunderstood it and totally misgauged what it was. And he was totally on board. Johnny Numb still has not seen it. So Johnny, if you're listening, you really need to rewatch it. But even he was saying, okay, maybe I'll finally come around and give this movie another chance, because he hasn't seen it in a very, very long time.
Billy Crash.
But they were really nice. They gave us a kind shout out. They appreciated the reviews in the episode. And of course, I only knew that they said that because I was listening to theirs and I'm a fan of theirs. So their Crash Palace, The Last Knock presents.
I love it. Last for me, when the president, Loomis, plays the cassette and dance music comes on, or music comes on.
God.
Do you think that's what causes world peace? Is everyone just starts dancing?
Well,
I think that's what makes the world worse.
yeah, there's definitely not world peace, because then, 16 years later?
Yeah, everything bad happens.
So that
Mark,
means
didn't
there
you
were
know?
more crime, and they had to open another prison.
Yeah.
Didn't you know
I'm
that
sorry.
George Miller made Mad Max Fury Road as a direct sequel to this?
The music comes on, everyone goes. Oh, and one last thing, speaking of cars, you just reminded me, John. When Snake takes that station wagon, puts it in reverse, and blasts through that barricade, that's pretty badass.
Dude, that was risky.
Yeah.
That was risky. I would not necessarily expect that to go that way.
So, I mean,
Ooh, I thought that was really interesting. So in preparation for the Train to Busan podcast, we watched the animated prequel from the director, and I felt he took heavily from this world.
yeah, he did.
The car barricades and the way people were running around and just the whole style of it felt very Escape from New York.
And that's on Crackle or Tubi?
I don't remember.
Soul Station. If you want to watch the prequel to Train to Busan, it's an animated film that does probably borrow heavily from Escape from New York. You can watch it for free, in the States at least.
On Tubi and Vudu for free.
Oh, so it's on Tubi and Vudu. You can watch the prequel to Train to Busan.
And how would you two rate that? Because I haven't seen that. Is this like a hard recommend?
No.
No, not a hard recommend. I would say if you're really into that world and you're anticipating the upcoming Train to Busan,
Peninsula.
I think you would be interested. But it's a much smaller animated story. It's very bleak.
Yeah, very bleak. If you like zombies,
Is it a full movie?
yes. So basically, I don't want to wreck the plot because there's spoilers in it. There's stuff, so I won't wreck it. But yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. Just watch Train to Busan again. Do that, or watch Kingdom on Netflix instead.
Which I still haven't seen, or Rampart, which has also
Kingdom.
been on my to watch.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what's
well.
Rampart?
So one of them's a show and one of them's a movie, basically, right? Between Kingdom and Rampart.
Oh, got it.
Kingdom's a show.
And then
So
is that-
Rampart then is the movie, but they're both like, it's like the other one's like feudal. The movie then, Rampart, is like feudal society and zombies as well.
Interesting.
crap. Now I have to watch that.
Oh, darn.
Yeah.
It's probably
Terrible.
just 90 minutes. I haven't seen it, but my attention was drawn to it before Kingdom then, because people were reviewing this movie online and it was enough trusted opinions that I'm like, oh, I really need to watch this, but I really need to be in a certain mood to watch a subtitled movie, and that's why those movies usually get delayed for me.
Kingdom. Megan and I'd be up cheering. I'd be on my feet doing dances.
Yeah, it was stressful.
Like I'd be like, so John, I'd be watching it with my arms up like this, like, ooh, like
And from what I understand, they're using the bone crack zombie style
yeah,
Yeah.
as well
Yeah,
as Train to Busan.
Yep, very much so. Very much like the train crack. Wait, train crack. Bone crack.
Bone crack.
I gotta get out of here, guys. This was
Bone
fun.
crack and train zombie.
There it is. Bone crack and train zombie. Lee Van Cleef.
And now the
Cushy
mustache
bushy,
has
cushy
you.
bushy, cushy bushy.
John, the Jersey John, the Trebuchet Master. We got some gems out of this episode. This was a lot of fun. Thank you. All right, so for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, for Jersey John, for Miami Mo, this is Movies, Films, and Flicks. We'll see you next week.